Hello YouTube, it's Simon here with Hobbies and Man. Once again, and today we're going to be doing another light novel review. I decided to read a bunch of light novels that I had bought previously in order to be able to read them, do a log for them, review them, and then put them away here in my home before I go back to my apartment. So the first one of those that I read was Toradora Volume 3. So this is written by Yuyuko Takemiya and illustrated by Yasu, who does a great job. I really like the illustrations here. It's published by 7 Seas, as you guys can see right there. That's what the spine looks like. That's what the back looks like. And the demographic is shonen, as far as I can tell. The genres are rom-com, slice of life, and school life, as is pretty standard for a lot of these things. Then it does have an adaptation. It has both a manga and an anime. The anime is currently available on Netflix, so do try to check that out if you're interested. And the premise is basically that, the character that was introduced in Volume 2, Amy, is evil, and she makes Taiga, this girl right here, very, very angry all the time. And so eventually the situation escalates so far that they decide to have a battle of sorts, which is decided through a swimming competition. The problem is that Taiga does not know how to swim. So it kind of creates a lot of tension. And alongside this, tension of Taiga fighting Ami, there's also this other tension with the characters. Now, honestly, I was pretty bored with this volume through, the first, through the middle section of the volume. Like, I just feel like it's a lot. It doesn't necessarily have to take this long to get through the story. And it kind of sucked, but I am going to stick out this series because I really was interested in the first volume. There's a lot of promise, and I think that with the ending of this volume, I can kind of see where it's going to go, and I think that that section of story is going to be a lot more interesting than what we're experiencing right now. So, the plotline here is pretty slow for most of the book. Like I said, it was kind of boring in the middle sections of the book. It begins kind of interestingly, but I don't remember some of the plot points that have been mentioned in the beginning of the book. I don't remember them happening before, so that's probably due to the fact that the last time I read this was forever ago. I don't even remember when. It might have been even like last year, so it's been a long time since I read Toradora Volume 2. So, coming into the story, I was missing some information, and then that compounded with the slowness of the story kind of ended up being a kind of boring-ish read. But I think that's just kind of standard for these rom-com type stories. Eventually the miscommunication gets so annoying that you kind of get bored of it. And that's kind of what happened here. However, the ending of the volume was actually really, really good because there's this very important part where you kind of understand where the Taiga specifically is coming from, and I think that that was really meaningful, and so I'm really looking forward to seeing where that goes. In terms of characters here, we just have all of the same ones as always. The only interesting kind of bit is that Ami continues to be a horrible person deep down with a very kind of angelic veneer on the outside that she makes use of in order to kind of trick everyone into thinking she's a great person, where Taiga and Ryuji know that she's not. The only interesting thing that happens is that Taiga and Ami kind of are at each other's throats. I think it's funny when they called when they called Ami a chihuahua. I think that's funny. I don't know. It's just kind of fun. And other than that, there really isn't anything there. There's a lot of fighting between Ryuji and Taiga, which sometimes is interesting. The vast majority of the times is just annoying because it's the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, and that kind of just gets boring. And so sometimes I'm okay with it, sometimes I'm not. There is moments here that were really great, like when they're at the pool or the ending of the story, but there's also a lot of times where it's just sluggish and it's just boring to read. In terms of world building, there is none. There's no setting building either. This is basically just happening in the same two places that it always happens, which is Ryuji's house and school. So there really isn't anything going on in terms of world building here. In terms of artwork, it continues to be good when it's colored, and it continues to be enjoyable and cutesy when you see it black and white. And I don't really have a problem with it. I actually quite like it. So I don't really, need anything different. However, it is still not like the greatest art style ever. I just do find it to be enjoyable within the story, because it does kind of have a fitting kind of style to it. So yeah, there you go. And other than that, in terms of fan service, there's a little bit of sprinkled in. Even the mangaka or the author makes a note about all of the boob jokes and all of the boob-related situations that are happening in this volume. And I think it's funny, and it's cute, but also the fan service is there, so be aware of that if you're not someone that is interested in it. However, it's very mild. It's very gentle also. It's just like, you know, if you're like a 14-year-old boy, you might find it to be really, you know, out there. But, you know, if you're an adult, it's going to be whatever, right? So there you go. In terms of a rating, it's a 3 out of 5. It is vastly underperforming compared to the first volume. And I'm just not really loving it, but I'm not really hating it either. It is very middle of the road for me. So if I find the next volume at the same price that I found this one, which is like $6, I'll buy it. If not, I probably won't come back to the story for a long while. So let's see how it happens, and let's see how it goes. And other than that, that's basically it for that. I'm just a bit bored with the story right now. Like, you know, everyone talks about Komi and how Komi takes forever to get anywhere, and I can understand that, but I don't really see it in Komi. I can definitely see it in this story. It just goes and spins its wheels in a very annoying fashion, but it's also because I just don't find like fake like miscommunication enjoyable to read. It just kind of is annoying that Ryuji and Taiga can't like solve their issues because Taiga is like such a ridiculous character, right? So I don't know. But other than that, it does get interesting at the end of the volume, so I am looking forward to reading more of it. So yeah, that's all I have to say for this volume. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below. Let me know what you thought. And thank you guys very much for watching. See you guys later.